Hello, my name's Lorraine Flaherty and I am an author, a lecturer and a clinical hypnotherapist. And I've always been a seeker of truth, and for me my mission in life has been to really understand who people are, who they really are, and why they're here, what their purpose is on earth. And over the years I've explored many different paths, and each one has led me back to a particular area, and that is the area of hypnosis. Hypnosis being a key that you can use to uncover the wisdom, the hidden treasure, if you like, that is contained inside each and every person. As so many people experience, I have two different sides to my nature. One is very scientific and I need to understand how things work. One of them is very much more interested in the spiritual and the esoteric. And over the years I've managed to find a way in which I can blend those two aspects perfectly. So on the one hand, I work with very clinical hypnotherapy, and I, for the last 10 or 11 years, have been teaching clinical hypnosis to doctors and medical students, dentists and midwives, and specialising in stress management, helping people with weight, with fears and anxieties. And I found that there were extraordinary results achieved in doing that work. On the other hand, it was the explorations into other lifetimes that people had lived, and exploring the space between lives, to that place that we go when we die and plan for our next incarnation. And all of these tools had provided me with a real means to help people transform their lives. But many years ago, when I was involved in the NLP world, I was introduced to a woman called Anne Jersh. And she began to pioneer a new process that was called Future Life Progression. And I knew immediately when I heard about it that this was going to be something really important. Because up to then, my work had been involved with finding the root of a problem, helping people to resolve it, and to clear the unhelpful clutter or negative beliefs, ideas in their mind. But once a person was ready to move forward, I found that the one thing that still held them back was a lack of clarity, a lack of awareness of where it is they should be going to, and sometimes a fear about the future or what that future might hold. So Future Life Progression is a fantastic tool that enables people to go and try out their future inside their mind, in their imagination. And it means that they are able to explore alternative versions, and they're able to really get a sense of the changes that they need to make in their lives to make their dreams come true, to make their future happen in the way they want it to. I've been working with this for many years now and seen so many huge transformations in people's lives. That clarity that they get means that they're no longer distracted. It means that they are able to really focus on their goal and make it happen. And things tend to happen much quicker than they may have thought. Just a little example was a client of mine who had a dream in her mind for the longest time of buying a rose-covered cottage out in the countryside. And she'd been saving and really working towards this goal. And right at the point when she was about to go ahead, a little doubt in her mind made her question whether this was the right plan for her. So in the hypnosis, she went forward, drifted forward in her mind as though she was 5 years in the future, found herself living in her beautiful rose-coloured cottage. And what was quite extraordinary was that the place was beautiful and that she was really happy with her home. But when I asked her how she was feeling in that space, she said, "I feel isolated, I feel lonely, and actually I'm really bored." So the wonderful thing about Future Lives is that you can explore alternative futures. So I asked her to step into a highest potential future. And this time she found herself living in a townhouse in London, and she was quite surprised to find that there was a man sat at a piano playing whilst she sang to an audience of people. And she started to cry. And when I asked how she was feeling, she said, "Everything feels right. This just feels so perfect." And at the end of the session, when we discussed what had happened, she revealed to me that her passion, her dream growing up had been to be a singer, but that her family, and particularly her mother, had been insisting that she get herself a proper job. So she had gone into the field of accountancy, and she'd achieved quite a lot of success, but just hadn't been happy. And so when the session was over, she went off with a absolute determination that she would find a way to fulfill that dream of hers. And I heard from her 3 or 4 months later, and it was quite extraordinary because she'd gone out and found a choir that she could join, that she could sing with. Within a few weeks, they had been so pleased with her voice and her contribution to the choir that they asked her to join a travelling group that were actually touring around the world performing. And 3 months later, she had become so successful and had been earning enough money to be able to give up her job and follow her passion. And she knew in her heart of hearts that that dream that she had seen 5 years in the future was going to happen. She hadn't quite met the man yet, but she had no doubt in her mind that this future was going to happen. And I've had so many clients come back to me to say that exactly what they saw in those future sessions have actually happened. So it's a very powerful tool. So I recommend that anybody that wants to know more about who they are or wants to share with people incredible tools and techniques that can help to transform their lives in all areas, that this really is the way forward. It's like the final piece in a jigsaw puzzle that combines a whole realm of therapeutic processes, and it's a bit like the icing on the cake. So I highly recommend to anybody that wants to learn to find out more about it, and there's lots of information online. You can go to lorraineflaherty.com and there'll be plenty of information for you there. Thanks very much.